Now, fellas, who's the most important player in all of the NFC
Wow.
coming up?
Peter Schrager had named a Lion
He did.
as his most important player.
And he does not have a field named after him on the east side of
He
Detroit.
doesn't. He doesn't. One day there may be a statue outside Ford Field with him. But no, Peter Schrager said Jared Goff is the most important player in the NFC. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
If Jared Goff plays Jared Goff football, no turnovers and just moving them up and down the field, the Lions will be the best team. Well, first or second best team in the NFC. But if he turns into turnover Jared Goff, then there's going to be some problems there.
Yeah.
I think we're past a point in time, like not that long ago, a lot of people would argue that the quarterback wasn't the most important person on a team. I think people are educated enough and have watched in real time how the league's very rules themselves have been changed to benefit the quarterback. Let's be perfectly honest. So you have to start there. The most important guy is the quarterback, and that means it's Jared Goff. Because the Green Bay Packers aren't going to win a Super Bowl. The Minnesota Vikings, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. The Chicago Bears, clearly not there yet. I think the one team in the division that has a legitimate chance to say, yeah, we can go win a Super Bowl is the Detroit Lions. So basis of elimination, it's Jared Goff, and I think it's a no-brainer.
Another thing is the Philadelphia Eagles can still win if Jalen Hurts sucks.
Yep.
for a
Great
day.
point.
Yep.
But if Jared Goff fails,
See
the
ya.
Lions are nothing.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. What about in division? I know we just kind of wrote off all three, and I'm with you, but do you throw J.J. McCarthy in the conversation? Like if he can have a decent year, that Vikings team won 14 games last year. Like, again, we don't necessarily believe in them yet, but that doesn't mean they weren't a good football team. Right now they don't have a quarterback, but they have J.J. McCarthy.
He's a redshirt rookie.
I'm
I'm
Can
going
you
to
give
say
a rookie?
I don't think he's going to show us what Jalen Daniels did.
That was going to be the next name I was going
Right.
to ask you about.
He will struggle. I don't trust rookie quarterbacks. So I think Minnesota has no shot in winning this division.
Fair.
I think when you look at all the other teams in our division, there are questions about all of those guys. And I will say this again. I know a lot of Packer fans, okay? And there are a lot of Packer fans in particular in the UP. Every Packer fan that I talk to, every single one, says the same thing. I don't know about this Jordan Love. We all kind of assumed, I did, gosh damn it, the Packers did it again. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and now, gosh damn it, this Jordan Love is going to torture us. For me, it goes back to the Thanksgiving Day game. Like when he did what he did a couple of years ago, I go, here we go. To say that he didn't follow up with that would be a gross understatement. In particular, I thought the rain game at Lambeau last year. It was like, ooh, I think Superman got himself some kryptonite, didn't he now?
Sure did.
So, same thing. Anybody who's writing checks for Caleb's out of their mind. Anybody who's and JJ, I like JJ.
Yeah.
I think people are giving JJ kind of a bum rap for the offense that they ran at Michigan. He made plays when he had to make plays.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. But he's a redshirt freshman.
Right.
He is. Sorry, he is. I don't trust him. Don't trust him at all.
But the other thing, he didn't have as many opportunities as other quarterbacks when he was at Michigan. Yeah, he did make big plays, but you can make big plays if you don't have to do it all the time. If you have to pass a lot and you have to show your skills a lot, you're going to be exposed at some point. Michigan never put him in a position to be exposed.
Right.
Because he was basically handing the ball off. So I don't know what he's going to be in the NFL.
His throws rolling out were unbelievable. Honestly, I don't think people give him enough credit for when he rolled out and the dimes that he threw, when he was forced, when he had to make those big plays.
But he didn't have to make him a lot.
No, he didn't. And I think that's why, because he didn't have to make them a lot, that's why I think people forget how good he was. That when he had to make those plays, that rollout throw he made was a dime. It really was.
Yeah, but if he's going to be a productive member of the National Football League, he's going to have to make that
all the time.
rollout pass all the time.
All the time. Yep.
And so I'm not convinced of him yet.
It'll take time.
Yeah,
It'll
so
take time.
Minnesota, no. Now, I heard someone say that Jared Goff was the third best quarterback in the NFC Central or Northern Division. How do you react to that, pal?
I think whoever said that was smoking something.
Who said that?
Yeah, I mean,
Jeez,
that person should lose all credibility.
It's
I mean,
I
it's not
think,
a real
I
statement.
think he had a little bit of haterade in him.
Jared Goff's the least athletic quarterback in the NFC North.
but very
Okay,
smart.
we can just say that.
All right.
He's by far the best quarterback, by far.
Before I ask, I'm really intrigued to hear the two that he picked. Can I guess whoever this human being is, they picked Jordan Love and Caleb Williams?
Yes.
How the? Okay, cool.
You mean the guy
That's
that
what I
painting his
said.
nails?
Okay.
Seriously?
You can't make. I mean, it's not real.
Wow.
It's not even close.
And that his MVP campaign last year was fake.
Yeah, so
Seriously?
fake. Best offense in the league, 15-2 record. Again, this is a regular season award.
You know what everybody points to? You know as well as I do. Everybody points to the Houston game. Everybody points to the Houston game. You know as well as I do.
Yeah.
Where even after all that, he found a way to bring the team back and win the game. That doesn't we got to
Yeah.
forget about that. It was just all the interceptions he threw that day.
Yeah.
If we want to admit it or not, and I said this when I was working with the fellas on Big D, that was the moment Jared Goff's MVP case went out the window.
Right.
Whether we wanted to admit it, and nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear it. But you guys know the national media, okay? Terry, you know the national media.
I
Listen,
knew it was done too.
lazy. Lazy. They saw that game on primetime. That might be the only time. Well, I don't need to check back in with Jared Goff. Did you watch that game? They're not putting in the work to watch all the other games. You know, they're going to watch another game, but everything's going to come back to that game. So it was done in that moment, whether we wanted to hear it or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. We in Detroit, we knew that was a bit of an outlier, and we knew that he has total control of this team, and he even led that team back to a victory with 5 interceptions. But you're right, from a national standpoint, which is how the MVP is voted, you see 5 interceptions on primetime TV, it's toast.
Just as whether we want to admit it or not, Josh Allen won it very late, due in part to his disassembling of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
That was one of the games that a lot of people around the nation had circled, and he went through that span. Was it? Gosh, I forget the game they played before. That was one of the national games where he went off, and then he did it to the Lions. That 2-week span, it was like, all right, you can all go to bed now. Josh Allen's winning the MVP.
Yeah. A 1 o'clock Sunday game, if you crap the bed, doesn't hurt you.
Right.
But if it's 4 o'clock Sunday, it will. If it's 8 o'clock Sunday, it will. If it's 9 o'clock Monday, it will, because everybody's watching.
Yeah.
1 o'clock Sunday games, you kind of look at it and say, okay, 4 interceptions, whatever they won, boom, and you move on.
Yeah.
But when it's prime time, you're like, oh, I saw this. He sucked. I'm marking him down a couple pegs.
Right.
So that's what happened.
Not like, oh, one of those picks was at the end of the half. One was on a bad route. There's context to it all, but that took
But
him
he
out
still
of the race.
threw him.
He did.
All right.
Josh
100%.
Allen, you know what game it was? It was that game against the Rams where he had 6 touchdowns, where he threw for 342 yards and then had 82 yards rushing. He had 6 touchdowns that game. He followed up that NFL game of the week with the game against the Lions, and it was like, all right, this is over.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for playing.
The impact he has on his team is probably unlike any other
Oh,
in the National Football League.
But
No doubt.
some shade is going to come down on him if he can't make it to the Super Bowl.
True.
At least one.
I think he and Lamar have the misfortune of living their days in the Patrick Mahomes era.
Yeah.
I think both of them. And you're
Are you
absolutely
throwing
right,
Lamar
too.
into that?
Oh, Lamar has to go in.
Yeah.
Lamar, he can't beat anybody in the playoffs. I mean, forget Kansas City.
Yeah.
What about everybody else?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, until those guys win something, that's just the way. I'll say this to my dying breath. Dan Marino's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. I will say it. Terry, I don't know your thoughts. Dan Marino's one of the best quarterbacks I've
I
ever
think
seen.
that goes without question.
His name never gets thrown out there. Why? He went to the Super Bowl once early in his career, got his ass kicked, and never got back. That's it. Period. I mean, them's the rules.
Right.
Them's the rules. I mean, that's the way it is, man.
Are we going to say that about Aaron Rodgers, too? Got Super Bowl early and looks like he's not going back.
I think the difference is he won. Honestly, whether it's fair or not, I'm not here to debate that. I think that's the difference is Aaron Rodgers won. But you wait, Terry. The renaissance of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers is nigh.
All right. No, but I don't think it changes Aaron Rodgers, even though he won. I still think if he goes the rest of his career, which it looks like he's going to do with no Super Bowl,
Not winning
he's
anything.
going to get shade too.
Oh,
for
he
that.
will. He'll get shade thrown his way. He'll get shade. I say that you guys, John Elway was picked on more than any quarterback. I mean, go watch old Simpsons episodes. I mean, the shots at John Elway and the Denver Broncos. Funny thing happens when you win a couple Super Bowls to end your career.
Right.
His entire legacy changed. He's known as a winner. Yeah.
Right.
So you're saying a great quarterback still needed a running game and like pieces around him to be
Yeah.
thought of in that ilk?
Imagine
Yes.
that.
It's odd.
Yeah.
I was told that it's got to be all the quarterback. Like they can't have a good coaching staff. They can't have weapons around them. They got to do it all themselves to be considered elite, right?
Well, it depends on the quarterback, and it depends on who's talking.
Yeah.
So Jared Goff is criticized because he has so many weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know the last quarterback that won a Super Bowl, won an MVP, who had a team around him that stunk.
Exactly.
I'm waiting for long-winded one. Tell me
No
what
one.
quarterback won an MVP or won a Super Bowl and his team around him stunk. You know what? We got a guy in Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. Hell of a quarterback.
Really
He
good.
can't do anything because his team sucks. He's putting up all these little yards.
Here come
He's
the
doing
Bengals.
this.
One of my favorite bits of the year. Here come the Bengals. It's such a cute
I thought you
little
call
bit.
them the Bumbles.
We had, you remember that game is like late November or early December. It was Here Come the Cowboys taking on Here Come the Bengals. And we were calling it the Back Bowl because whoever won that game, you know what they're going to say after? The Cowboys are back. The
Right.
Bengals are
Yup.
back. You know, it's kind of a yearly dynamic that takes place. And no, T, you're right. I mean, it's I don't think it's necessarily fair to Joe Burrow. I don't. I think there's so much disaster around that team. That is another really poorly run franchise. Okay.